Well, good day, all. Ira Epstein of Linn Associates with your financial market wrap-up. And this is for Tuesday evening, May 11th, 2021 at 7 p.m., and that is daylight savings time. While we're down slightly in some of the indices, I'm of the opinion we're getting overdone to the downside. That does not mean I'm turning bullish. It means I think we're getting overdone to the downside. When you take a look at my Spider ETF tonight video, you'll see what I'm getting at there. In the energy, sort of flat right now. Grain, still another nice gain in them. They're doing just wonderful. You have a huge grain report tomorrow. Why is it big? Well, number one, it's the first big one as we're getting crops in the ground, but it's the end of the Brazilian crop. Now the government gets to tighten up what's left and how fast do people have to run for the American crops. So far, it appears to the market, because it's priced in beans, you haven't been over $16 in soybeans, I think, in 2012 was something like that. Corn, comfortable over $7. I mean, you've got major numbers, and the reason they're there is we're getting big purchases coming on board. But let's take a look first at the S&P and get a feel there. And by the way, that's partial inflation when I talk about these prices. But you do understand, when you see commodities going up, the biggest cost is the packaging over the commodity normally, and then labor. It's not generally the commodity itself, but that part of the equation. So when I look at the S&P, you're down 1.8% for the week so far. You can see that the market made a trade top up here, has backed off, and it's pretty violent in that short period of time, in 2 days, what the market has done. And you can see that it destroyed chart action, because until this occurred, while you had a break, you still had higher lows coming up there, right? Higher lows, higher high. This break that took you down, and that was today, took that out of the market. So all the wind came out in one swoop of the market, and now you're not trending anymore. Basis the idea of higher highs, higher lows. Where's the market fighting? Well, it started fighting, and it began it right here a week ago. And it's been still fighting against that 18-day average of closes. What did I tell you about the sideways action that was developing? I'm going to take you back here. I want to take you to actually right here. This is last Thursday. I know what I said. I said, we are forming a pipe. It's the psychiatry trade. You get the number of your psychiatrist out, because you're going to play that it's going to break out one way or the other. And often, I cannot use the word always because it's not accurate, but often you spin around in there and you lose your mind. Here's the market. To me, it looks like breaking out. Well, that didn't work. Now the market goes down today, big time, and coming back tonight. Call your psychiatrist. That's why I call it the psychiatry trade. As I add to it momentum coming down. So what I think here is we're in a basing period again. Yeah, could it be a top? It certainly could. I mean, I've got to be an open mind to it. It could be either, but it's spinning and something is going to come out of it. And because you don't have a trend in place, I'm more than comfortable observing. Now, will I look at the weekly charts for another picture? Sure, but I show that to my paid subscribers in the morning. In the NASDAQ, I've got terrible allergies. In the NASDAQ, we have a higher high, lower low. Now I like this. How often do you hear me, if you're a regular viewer, say the combination of a 100-day average and a Bollinger Band, the first attack of it generally is a support area. This is what you did today, and this is what you're doing tonight. I'm very comfortable saying that, and as I said at the beginning of my monologue here, we're getting to oversold territory in some of these. So the NASDAQ bounced nice. It's not a turnaround on this chart. If that's a turnaround, I give up. I mean, it could be one, I guess, but I don't see how. I really don't see how. Even if the market went up tomorrow to 14,170, it's still going to have a lower and low, higher high. I don't see how. In the Dow, stronger than the NASDAQ. What did you do? You had right through here, you had 3 days in a row over the upper Bollinger Band. Agreed? I said, and I always say, the odds of getting the 5 are very small, And I think you're going to see the market wants to pull back under it. Well, lo and behold, today, where did it go? Right to the 18-day average. Momentum has turned back down in the market. You're sort of playing there, and you got to get away from the market in overbought territory, and it did it. Now, look at how fast. If I come to the close tonight, you're still overbought because one of the numbers is over 76. I'm looking for my camera. There it is. And now what you've got is the market with both under that. So this market is getting the pros' attention. If they're nibbling right there at the 18-day average. They're probably going to have stops there. You still have divergence because you've got momentum pointing down, but you are in an uptrend, and the resistance is now like a pinball machine. You hit that 18-day average. Okay, the resistance is live. The flippers are working. 34,627. In the Russell, do you really want to press under the first challenge of a 100-day average in the Bollinger Band? I don't think so. What is the name of this pattern right here? Get the phone out. Hello, are you my doctor? Yes, I'm going nuts. The psychiatry trade, where you're looking for that punch through and you just don't get it. That is so typical. This is major support, not a buy, major support. There's a big difference. VIX, I'm going to be surprised if you keep going up. Wouldn't surprise me if you fall right back down here. All you did again is you went up to the 100-day average. We keep going there and we keep failing on it. Is there a trend? There is not. You have a higher high, lower low, but it is an attempt. And you don't forget this twice now, to make this a base and break away from that to the upside, which is bearish in the stock market. So there is a signal out there the traders are telling you as they're purchasing insurance. Got that? In the 30-year bond, do you see a trend? Because I don't. Again, this narrow band, if you take this away, you see that band crystal clear. Agreed? Market tries to break out, fails on it miserably. You're going, what the heck? I thought it was breaking out. And now you're trying the downside, and guess what number you went to? The lower band. I seriously doubt you're going to stay under it because you're oversold already. So just my thought. Not a trend either. 10-year note, little different as you move through the curve yield. Now you're getting neutral, but uptrend. Again, the failure on the first challenge there. Isn't that Bollinger Band cool? Take that enhanced Bollinger Band course. I'm not pitching it per se. It's neat. We made our first series of trades, at least I did, ones that I'm just looking at for the traders, because I wrote it in my newsletter. These are all off what I taught in that course. One of the trades lost today. Two of them are very large winners. It's not a track record. I'm just telling you what's going on. There's always going to be losers. If you think you can find a system that doesn't have losers, God bless you, find it, but don't tell anybody about it. You'll be the richest person in the world. In no time, within a year, you won't find the system. June eurocurrency. Higher lows, higher highs. By the way, I find a system is not making a trade. You do understand what I'm getting at. You got to be a trader to define what I'm saying. I'll define that. In the British pound, 3 days over the upper Bollinger Band. You know I'm going to look for a pullback now. You're overbought. It's not trending either. It had a big breakout. No question that it's broken out. It never did have that sideways action that I'd like. It's sort of a sloppy chart. I don't see anything that's really exciting. In Bitcoin, they traded 80,000 of the small contracts, these new micros that they brought up for it, in like 5 days. So if you think this isn't going to be a big event for this market, it is. And when people say, oh, the bid offer's too wide, no. When you're getting that kind of volume versus on a good day, what do you get, 6,000 of the regular Bitcoin? No. You're going to tighten in the bid offers. They're going to get tight when that market's open. Expect it. This is the beginning of that market getting to be where it can become more mainstream trading. Right now, the pattern is still bullish. The support's the 18-day average, but you're very overbought. The differential between the Brent and the WTI, you're just going back and forth right here. And notice, you're not getting a runaway in prices on crude oil. Why? Well, let me think about it. How am I going to get it to you? Whatever comes in on the East Coast via ship is great. But anything over that Colonial Pipeline that's got gasoline and diesel, I know that the government keeps telling us, no, the shortages, we got them under control. Tell that to the people that are 5 hours in line. They're the ones that know. I remember when we had the boycott going and I sat for hours in line in Chicago. And the one thing, don't worry, you're going to get all the gasoline you want. Sure you did if you got up at 2 in the morning and sat there till 7 and got your 8 gallons or whatever they did at that time. The people there know what I'm saying. Do not believe the government on this situation is my point. Go with what the market is telling you. I do realize they're going to put in place the Jones Act. They're trying to get tankers now to bring crude and other products, refined products too, from Port Arthur and so on, over to the East Coast. More important, though, is where are they in this hackware? Have they been able to pay the people off, or did they find a way to break through it? If it's just going to be more of the same, the situation gets worse. Governments don't come out and say, panic. You do realize that. I don't know any that do. In the July Brent, you got lower and low, higher high. I'm looking for the resistance at the upper Bollinger Band. Got it, and you're too overbought to be of interest. I think the same thing is going on in this. And if you close under the 18-day, it gets bearish. But where does it go back to and hold? Gee whiz. Rebob. I'm still bullish this rebob. I'd like it to get away from being overbought. You can't have these numbers over 70. They either embed again or you go. But it's interesting. Prices aren't running to the upside even though the demand on the East Coast is monstrous. Now, they've told us already that Chicago prices are going to go up in part because of this. They'd go up at this time of the year anyways. And we're seeing that jet fuel is causing planes to figure out on longer flights from the East Coast to the West or even further, they're going to have to make different stops because there's not enough fuel there. What they're doing is they're using the reserves at the airport. There's plenty of reserves, so don't think they're running out, but they're going to allocate, and you'll have ideas when they start telling you other things, how bad the situation is. But whenever I see a word like this, and the airlines are all of a sudden going to change some of the flights, and the government says, no, everything's under control, okay. I think business has a pretty good idea what's going on. So you look at it all, you try to come up with game plans, and a lot of what you hear me talk about in these monologues and as I review this, we're putting in the research during the day as it's coming out. There is a team of us at Linn Group that puts out a lot of research. I put it out for my paid subscribers. They do it for the clientele of Linn. They're very good. They're option traders. These are people with years of experience. If you like ethanol, they're ethanol traders, Bitcoin's covered, everything you can dream of. So if you're interested, all you need to do is give a call at 866-973-2077. My staff will work with you from there. You can go to the website, by the way, and you'll see free offers. Take advantage of it. I'm Ira Epstein. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day.